I still remember what I saw that evening, that beautiful, beautiful sunset, those white mountains shining golden because of that light when sun was setting. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night, cold. I wanted to go pee, and when I went out, I just looked up. I don't even know why. I just looked up, and
Mhm.
that sky was full of stars.
From Unboxing Stories, this is Himalayan Diaries. I'm your host, Ojas. Often we picture a designer or an artist in a sleek, air conditioned studio surrounded by technology and comfort. But our guest today, Mrinal, shatters this stereotype. She swapped the studio for the rugged outdoors, choosing a life of adventure over a desk, leading treks and mentoring adventurers. Mrinal is an outdoor instructor and has completed over 50 treks in the Himalayas and continues to travel across the world. She lives by the mantra that youth is a gift to be used for exploration, urging us to seize the day, for we never know what holds tomorrow. Let's dive into her inspiring journey. Welcome, Mrinal, to Himalayan Diaries. Thank you for joining.
Wow, thank you so much for an amazing introduction. I don't think so even I can introduce myself so better. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have this conversation as well. Before we start, I want to ask you if
Hmm.
you are to take any fictional character or anyone as your trek buddy, any character from movies or anyone you know, who will that be?
Oh my God, that's a tough question considering I don't watch a lot of movies. But as you were asking this question, I don't know why, but the first character that came to my mind was Olaf from Frozen. You remember that snowman? I don't know why. Yeah. So I think him, which will also be like a symbol that it's snowing in the places where I am because he
Mhm.
can't survive summers for sure. So yeah.
That's nice. That's interesting. I introduced you as a outdoor instructor, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't know what is an outdoor instructor apart from
Uh,
uh, you guide people in the outdoors. You are like a instructor for the outdoors. So can you talk about what is outdoor instructor?
okay. Like you said, it is basically like if you have to simplify the words, it is instructor for the outdoors. So yeah, that's what I am. But it's mostly with kids. So I work with kids 99% of the times. I used to work with adults earlier, but now it's all kids from diverse age groups from your 8 to 18
Mhm.
is the age group. So, as an outdoor instructor, I lead programs, multi activity programs. So, it could be anything. It could be kayaking, it could be rock climbing, it could be even taking them on smaller hikes, bushcraft sessions, basic first aid training. So, all these small little activities that um, can be done in outdoors. This is like a very few which I've told. There are multiple others also, but this
Mhm.
is the basics which a lot of people will be able to kind of relate to. So, yeah, just take them out there, facilitate the experience, do all these activities with them, and then later on reflect on how the entire experience was so that they take back a lot more from that. Not just the fun and adventure part of it, but also the learning aspect of it. That's what I do.
Interesting. We used to have a teacher's day in our school, and we
Uh,
if you are in the 10th grade, you are supposed to go to the lower grades and teach one
uh-huh.
subject, and after that they judge you if you did well. And I remember I was assigned, I think,
Uh-huh.
fourth standard or fifth standard class, and it was so damn
Mhm.
difficult. The teaching was the teaching was way after everything. To control them was one thing. So how I can,
Yeah.
and that is in a school environment. So how are you able to manage that in the outdoors?
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. Yes, they are difficult to manage in school for sure. But outdoors, not that much, to be honest. I have hardly faced issues. I mean, I do have, but I have my own tips and tricks just to get them to line. And outdoors, again, it's a place where they want to be. It's a place which gives a lot of joy to them. There's a lot of adventure. There's a lot of thrill involved, and with all of them, there is also little bit of fear because it is completely out of their comfort zone. And as a facilitator or as an instructor, you being there plays a important role. So they tend to listen to you because they know if they don't, then they might get injuries or they might not get to do that activity or that experience. So yeah, they do listen.
But that also must be a huge responsibility as well, right?
Oh yes, it is. If yeah, I mean, I have had kids who are naughty, and even if you tell them that, oh, you know what, just like a very simple example, wherever we do rock climbing, they need to wear helmets. You never know when
Mm-hmm.
will a rock come flying down, and at that speed and from that height, it's almost like hitting a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to wear helmets. It is for safety reason. And they will not. They'll be like, oh my God, miss, I'll be fine. I'm okay, Like, yeah, you are. But if something happens, what will I do? Like, no, wear helmets. So yeah, sometimes it does get difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's the fun bit also. You tend to deal with so many different kids, and each of them, they are unique in their own ways. So every time there is a new formula that I need to come up with, not the same one works with all of them. So
That
yeah.
applies for the elders as well.
Oh yes, definitely. I have had difficult groups for sure.
And how were you as a
Yeah.
kid? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Chandigarh, born and brought up in Chandigarh till my, uh, we call it 12th. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, a lot of people, they call it college or senior school, whatever. So yeah, I mean, till that age or till that standard, I was in Chandigarh, and then for my college, I moved out. But as a child, I was very shy as a child, and I was not very outgoing or outspoken kind of a person. I was very shy. I still remember back in school. So my kind of stepping stone was my teacher, my English teacher. I'm still in touch with her. I absolutely love her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, she was the one who used to push me, like, oh, you know what? Today you are reciting this poem. I, what? No. So, from those smaller steps to then doing theater in my college and then going out on treks is
Mm-hmm.
how I kind of got introduced, and that is how my childhood also was.
Mm-hmm.
From being a very shy, silent kind of a person to going all the way out and not shutting off now. Yeah. I don't know if this kind of answers to what you asked, but yeah.
Listening to your story, I completely relate with it because this is the exact journey I have had. I was also
Mm-hmm.
like not very outspoken in school, and exactly like you said, I did theater in my college as well, in my engineering.
Oh.
Uh,
Okay.
And yeah, I did acting more than anything.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I started doing treks and I've done quite a few. So I can completely
Mhm.
relate with your journey.
Oh yeah, yeah, we have had a similar journeys then. Nice. Were you in like street play or stage play?
No, proper stage play. So in Pune, there are uh, inter-college
Okay.
competitions. There are
Mm-hmm.
two of the more prestigious competitions. So I was part of couple of plays as a lead actor. To be,
Ooh,
I'm trying to put
oh
it in a
my
modest
God.
way. I'm trying to find. I'm trying to be modest, but I should. I think I can say that.
Yeah, you should say so. Definitely. Oh, lead actor. Amazing. Nice. That's good.
Yeah. And were you traveling or did you get introduced to any adventures during your school or in your college?
See, school, I would say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I can't remember anything very strongly in school. My introduction to outdoors or trekking in general happened when I was in college. And and since then it has just not stopped. My first trek that I did was absolutely unplanned. There was no planning of going on a trek. We were just there and we happened to do that trek. And after that, I just fell in love with outdoors. I still remember what I saw that evening, that beautiful, beautiful sunset, those white mountains shining golden because of that light when sun was setting, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night, cold. I wanted to go pee, and when I went out, I just looked up. I don't even know why. I just looked up, and that sky was full of stars. It was just full of stars, and I froze. I stood there for some good amount of time just to look up, and it was magical. I had never experienced something so beautiful, and then there was no stopping. Then on my uh, days off or holidays, instead of traveling, turned into trekking.
Which trek
So
was this?
I did Triund. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people from Delhi and northern part of India would be aware of it. It's not a very, it is kind of popular. Back then when I did it, we were allowed to camp. So we camped one night up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because there's a lot of pollution and there's a lot of trash that people were leaving there, so they have stopped camping up. But it's a beautiful trek, yeah, for beginners especially, which I
Mm-hmm.
was.
Amazing. I, I don't know, whenever I listen to Chandigarh, I, I recall roadies. I don't know why.
Oh no, no, no! Please
I'm
don't
sure you
say
will hate this.
that. Oh,
The moment someone says I'm from Chandigarh, I immediately, roadies.
yes, of course. This, yeah.
And I'm
You know
sure
what? I don't blame you.
you, and I'm sure you have either watched it or been in a conversation where roadies is being discussed. And if you're not, you're lying.
No, I have had a lot of people. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. I have had a lot of comments on the same thing. Oh, ऐसे बनेगी रोटी? I'm like, no, नहीं बनना मुझे रोटी. क्या चल रहा है ये? But
Because
rotis and Chandigarh, yes, they do go hand in hand, I think.
I remember I used to watch the auditions when the Raghu Rajiv
Oh,
was there. And after that,
mm-hmm.
the task I just used to watch the task and I used to think, I can do this task. This adventure must be so nice. And as I started to grow up, started to understand what all things are that, and I realized that's not the real adventure.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, my friends, they make so much fun of me because of this roadies. Yes, they do. But yeah, you know what? But I've never thought of going to roadies. Yeah, I would like to clarify that. I never wanted to be a roadie. No, not
I doubt
everybody from here wants to be a roadie.
I doubt that.
Oh, no, please trust me. I never wanted to be one.
After completing your 12th, you started
Uh-huh.
designing, right, at NIFT.
Correct.
And was this the first time you stepped out of Chandigarh, or you had an experience of living outside?
Yeah, that was the first time when I went outside of my safe space to live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And by this time you were introduced to trekking, or after this you got introduced?
No, after this, when I was in first year of my college, that is when I got introduced to trekking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then after completing your graduation, you started your job, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And then the
I
frequency.
started my job as a designer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the frequency of trek must have gone up from there, right?
Not really. It
Mm-hmm.
actually went down because when I started working, it was my first job, and NIFT is not a very it's an expensive institute. My parents, they did spend a lot of money, so my focus was like, oh, acha bacha banna hai, just be in the
Mm-hmm.
field where you have spent so much and work properly. So yeah, I used to work a lot, and it frequency of trekking actually reduced because there were less breaks, less number of holidays. Yeah, but I used to make sure that I was still doing at least one trek per
Mm-hmm.
year, or if I am getting a longer break per se, maybe combining two treks in that break, doing quick like back to back treks as soon as I can finish, sort of a thing, because I wanted to be out there.
And when did the shift started to happen that you want to be more out than being in the job?
See, that bug used to kind of bother me every now and then, even when I started working initially, and it kept on happening. And then COVID was the time when I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
things can change suddenly. Maybe I don't have that long that I think. And that was the time where I sat down. I asked a lot of questions to myself just to be sure that okay, if I am switching, it was a big change for me. It's not easy. Again, saying the same thing, that NIFT was expensive. My parents, they have put in so much money for my education, and I was planning on leaving that industry just within year and a half maximum. And if I leave, I had no plans of coming back. So I had to be sure that if this is what I'm doing, I give my 100% to this. Yeah, during that time in COVID, I used to go out for runs when even before people used to wake up, so that there's nobody. Just beat those curfew timings, and during those runs, just think about all these things all the time, continuously. What is it that I want to do? How do I want to lead my life? What actually adds meaning? Yeah, I mean, a lot of these questions. That is when I found my answers. COVID gave me those answers. Like outdoors, there you go. Don't wait.
And then the first kind of outdoor job that you did was being a trek leader.
Yes, it was, yeah, it was being a check leader.
And why particularly did you choose that?
This thought of being a trek leader basically came to me when I was doing my trek. It's called Hamta Pass. So I was doing that trek and I was going from Jwara to Balukagera. And
Mhm.
during that patch, I still remember very, very clearly. I was walking right next to the river. It was beautiful day. And I was thinking that these mountains, they have taught me so much. What I am today is all because of them. I have experienced so many beautiful things out here which I don't think I would ever experience anywhere else. They have helped me discover a different personality of myself. They have helped me understand my own strengths and weaknesses. And I was just reflecting on my journey and I was thinking it would be so nice if I could get people up here and help them experience the same thing. I would want to be that facilitator for them, like a small means where they just see outdoors from a different angle. And that is when this thought came up. And I went back from the trek and I looked up and then I found a job which was trek leader. I was like, wow,
Mhm.
something like this exists. I would
Mhm.
love to be that. I would love to do this job. So, yeah, that is when that thought came up, and I knew that if I am going out, if I want to switch to outdoors, this is what I want to start with. This is what I want to do. So, yeah.
Interesting, interesting. What was the reaction of your parents? Because you have mentioned so many times that they've spent so much on your education and what you were doing. What was the reaction of your parents, and how were you? How did you convince yourself to tell this to them?
You know what? Surprisingly, it
Mm-hmm.
was not very difficult to convince my parents. Because I think that's also because I have a very close relationship with my mom, and I I talk to her and I tell her everything. So even back when I was working as a designer, I used to tell how I was feeling doing that job.
Mm-hmm.
I love my job, to be honest. I was designing for amazing brands. I'm really grateful for that till date. But it was about that feeling. By the end of the day, I never used to feel proud of what I was doing. I never used to feel very happy. It was yeah, that satisfaction was missing. And I've had multiple conversations with her, and I have shared my experience of treks with her when I have gone on treks, how I feel there, what I want to do. She always knew what is going on. What am I thinking? What are my future plans? I don't know. Maybe she have heard it multiple times that, oh, I want to be in the mountains, I want to work there, I want to shift to mountains. When COVID happened, I was working from home, I was there. We get to spend a lot more time together, and she could see that you know I was not very happy or satisfied with what I was doing, and there's something else that I want to do. She could see that that glow in my eyes when I used to talk about treks. Like, this is it. And she is my biggest support. She is my biggest cheerleader. And when I told her and I said that, this is what I want to do, she was like, okay, if this is what you want to do, and if you have thought about all of this, I know it's not like an overnight decision that you just woke up and thought that, oh, I want to switch, and you are. And she has been part of that journey.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, okay, if this is what you want to do, this is your time. This is the right age, I would say. Go ahead, give it a try. She said that give it a try for a year and see if this is your calling. Don't leave until 1 year at least. Give that commitment and then figure out. And yeah, that 1 year has turned into 4 years almost now, I guess. And yeah, I just never looked back. I was like, yeah, this is it. So my mom, she was, yeah, I think she has always been the biggest support. So it was not difficult, and I'm glad it was not very difficult.
And
That is how the shift has been.
mhm. Did trekking open this perspective for you, looking at things from a sustainable point of view and keeping that beauty that you saw in the mountains as it is by not being a part of producing so much of dump or waste?
Yeah, I would say that it definitely had a big impact on me. It kind of brought my values back because I still remember when I was a child and growing up, my mom is a very sustainable person. She
Mm,
would not buy those plastic bags. She would use cloth bags, reuse a lot of plastic bags, not waste things. So my entire childhood was kind of revolved around sustainability very subtly. These were things we were doing as part of our daily life, and it was kind of a norm for me, very normal thing to do. Yeah, so I was and since then I had that base that okay, try to be sustainable as much as possible, at least give it a try. It doesn't affect that much. And then when I started going on treks, and then when I saw the amount of waste, it just breaks my heart. Yeah, it just does. And I don't know how can I change things. I can still, yes, do at my own small level. I still continue to do a lot of things.
mhm,
But it just breaks my heart. When you go to those mountains, you see those massive Himalayas, which are not easy to scale, and just just at the bottom of it is almost like a mini landfill. It is not okay, and it's very, very saddening, and I don't like that at all. From there, it connected to what I was doing when I was designing clothes, and then I was questioning myself that, oh wait, you know what, I'm also part of this cycle. I am kind of responsible to adding to that landfill from what I am doing. So it had a greater impact.
And do you remember your first trek as a trek leader? Because that must have been a complete shift in the way you see trekking.
Yes, I very clearly remember my first trek as a leader. Oh my God. Yeah. So I led this trek called Devratal Chandrashila. That was
Mhm.
my first trek. And I had like immense performance pressure, I would say, because on my first trek, I had my trainer come and shadow me. And so these two trainers, okay, and one was little soft and one was little hard, like a strong person. And then out of both of them, the tougher one chose to come. And I was like, oh my God, why? Why does it have to be you? Oh, and then it was him. And then we had our in house photographer who joined on that trek. I was like, amazing, more performance pressure. And it doesn't end there. It doesn't stop there. And then I had three new tech leaders, assistant tech leaders, shadow me on my first trek. I was like, please, somebody help. Oh my God. I was scared, to be honest. I was very much scared, and I was like, okay, everything needs to be like everything needs to be good. And I was just doing things, and I got into that job kind of an element. I don't know. It was a very weird thing. And then I remember it was morning. Devratal. We were at Devratal campsite, and it was morning time, and we could not see sunset the previous day. And morning, it was absolutely clear, so we could see the mountains from the campsite. And then my trainer, I saw him go like crazy, like, oh, it's clear sky, you can see the mountain. And I was running around, and I was like, wait a second, maybe I don't have to take so much pressure, this is why I came here, and
Mm.
I can just chill out.
Yeah.
And that changed a lot for me as well. And then I was also running around like, okay, all of you get out, we are going to the lake, we are going to see the sunrise, run. And then I took all my team to the sunrise spot, and then we sat there for some time. It was a beautiful trek. And after that, I think that stress element, that performance pressure element, it just vanished. I was like, I can do this. No worries. It was a beautiful trek. And after trek leading, my definition of summit changed when I used to go on treks with my friends, or on my mostly with my friends, or before, as a trek leader, it was always like, oh, I want to go to the summit first. I don't
Mm.
want to miss that sunrise. I don't want to miss that first ray of light when it falls on the mountains. It was That summit was a lot about me, that I want to witness that. And when I started leading groups as a trek leader on my very first trek, it kind of changed. I was like, okay, this is this is no more about me. This is about my team. This is about my trekkers. I want them to witness the sunrise.
Mm.
And that became my definition of a successful summit, that if I can make sure that my entire team, in one healthy team, without any medical situations, any issues, if they can make to that sunrise, and if they can witness that first ray of light falling on the mountains, that gave me immense joy. That became my definition of summit, and it was beautiful. I have had so many people just break down into tears after seeing that light, that entire scenery. It is just so beautiful. That feeling that, oh, I can do this. Even when I am, not in my 20s, when I am in my 60s, even then, and it is just so beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and I love that.
Wow. The change in the perspective is so nice. I read it somewhere, I don't remember, but it said that giving joy is the biggest form of joy that anyone can feel or anyone can experience. And I think that's what you described when you give that joy to, let's say, 20, 10, 15 more people, and you see
Yeah.
them feel the same joy that you experienced, it makes you even more happy, I think.
Yes, it definitely does. Yeah, and I completely agree to that statement. It is so beautiful, and that was the reason why I wanted to be a trek leader.
Mhm.
I wanted people to experience what I have experienced in the mountains, that beauty, that different side of your own self,
Mhm.
and that happened on those treks, and it definitely made me. I mean, it made me feel multiple emotions at the same time. It was very, very rewarding.
But on this first trek, were there any trekkers or only the trek leaders and assistant trek leaders?
Oh, we had trekkers. Yes, we did. It was a small team. It was not a very big team, but we had trekkers, and I'm still in touch with those people. It was a beautiful team. It was wonderful. And I didn't tell any of them that it was my first trek. I wanted to be like a surprise.
Mhm.
And when we reached on the summit, that is when I told them that, you know what, you people are very special, because this is the first team I've ever led. And they were so happy, and even I was so happy. I was like, yay! Because all of them were able to reach to that summit. We all were able to witness that sunrise. It was so beautiful.
Mhm.
So I was very, very happy. Yeah.
Beautiful. And any personal experiences, if you had, where you were not well and you were not sure that if you will be able to complete the trek,
Oh, yes, I very well remember that. So, this happened on Sandakfu.
Okay.
So I was leading Sandakfu, and I was supposed to lead two teams, but then and Sandakfu is a little different track. So you, instead of only tents, you also stay in tea houses. So, and the local people there, they run those tea houses, and they're beautiful people. They are so nice, uh, very warm humans. And as tech leaders, we build relationships with them. We build like good connection. So I remember when I was on my second trek, which was supposed to be my last trek, I was like, oh, okay, bye bye. I'll see you maybe next year if I come back. And all of that was happening. And then when I went back to the base camp, I got to know that I have to lead another team. I'm like,
Oh.
wait a second, what? And I had planned my days off. I was actually flying back to Delhi. I was going to meet my friends. I had to cancel everything.
Mhm.
And before I lead my third trek, I had, I think, 3 or 4 days break in between.
Okay.
And before that, it had been very hectic. And that rest, I think that kind of killed me. I got bad flu, like fever, cough, cold. I
Oh.
was just in my bed for 2 days. I could not get up. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? How will I lead this team? um, but then, I took my medications, took care. I was a lot better, and I could not ask anybody else also because there was nobody at that point of time. I was the only person in, and some other track leader had to go out in because of some family emergency. So I was taking that team. So there was no backup for me at that point of time. So I was like, okay, I have to lead, no matter what. I was in doubt. I was like, I don't know if I'll make what will happen, if I'll be in good shape, because I don't want my checkers to go back with a bad experience because I am not very well. I mean, yeah, I was like, no, it's their first trek. I am doing it for the third time, but
Mhm.
it's their first trek. So I wanted to be the best experience for them as well. But then I pushed through.
Mhm.
It kind of, I don't know, it happens. I think it happens with a lot of tech leaders, I would say. And it used to happen with me also. Just like even 15 minutes before the team arrives,
Mhm.
I'd be like, oh my God, I can't, it's a lot. And as soon as my checker, I don't even see their faces. As soon as I see the cars coming in, this tech leader mode just turns on. It's like somebody has turned on a switch, and there is immense energy, enthusiasm, excitement, everything that pops in. I'm like, I am ready to lead this trek. And yeah, and then I led the trek, and that turned out to be one of my best treks of Sandakfu. It
Oh.
was so beautiful. Al is the campsite which is very famous for its sunset. And
Mhm.
my previous two teams, we did not got very amazing sunsets.
Mhm.
And then I was like, I kind of, it sounds funny, but I was like, I talk to mountains sometimes. I was like, you know what? I'm doing this for the third time. You better give me a good sunset, okay? And
Oh.
then when we reached all, oh my God, I think they listened.
They
It
listen.
was so beautiful. Yeah, they listened. It was a beautiful sunset. I was so happy. All of us were so happy because we got to witness that sunset. It was magical. But
Amazing.
yeah, I ended up leading that track. Yes.
This is the interesting point that you brought up because from outside, if we don't realize that the trek leaders or the people who are there to help us, they have done the same trek for two, three times, and physically as well as mentally, it must be so difficult.
See, it does get difficult to be honest. Tech leading from outside perspective, it feels like a very glamorous job. Like,
Mhm.
oh, you are in the mountains, you're living your life and everything. Yes, we are, but
Mhm.
there is also a lot of hard work. There's goes behind being up there, and making sure that my trekkers, they get the best experience. I don't know any trek leader who would be like, oh, I don't care about my trekkers. Everybody who is leading a group, they want their trekkers to get the best experience. That's why we are there. It does get difficult, but at the end of the day, it is also very, very rewarding. It takes something, but it gives a lot more than it takes, so it's fair.
And what do you train and what does your training look like?
We do have a training routine. Everybody has their own, depending upon their in general, their physical fitness and the injuries they have had. Because track leaders, they do get a lot of injuries, especially knee pains, shoulder pains, all these joint related issues. So, mostly on off days, it is like strengthening, doing a lot of stretches, doing a lot more strength exercises, because cardio is happening on trek. Weight lifting also is kind of happening because you're carrying that backpack and everything. You need that strength. So it's more of strength based exercises. At least that's what I used to do. In between, whenever I get time, just go out for light runs or jogs. Not very, like, not too strong, not very intensive thing, but very routine or a light workout.
Yeah, I guess training is very subjective and everyone different things, the different kind of training suit different kind of people. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you listening to this podcast, which workout suits you better? Go out there and do it while we continue our conversation with Mrinal in the next episode, where we talk about her favorite trek, challenges faced by a trekker, and how to become a trek leader. You can follow Mrinal on Instagram. ID is in the description. Her profile is full of beautiful pictures from the mountains and beyond. Thanks for joining us on Himalayan Diaries from Unboxing Stories. I'm your host Ojas. Together with Shivam Hasurkar, we are the creators of Unboxing Stories. Remember, every step in the mountains tells a story, and we are here to bring them to you. If you are inspired to start your own trekking adventure, please remember that these are not just leisure activities, but true adventure sports. It's crucial to learn, prepare, and take all necessary safety measures before embarking on your journey. Your safety is as important as your adventure. If you have enjoyed this episode, do share it with your friends and family. Please make sure to follow us and leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast. Tune in next time as we continue to unbox more stories from the Himalayan Diaries. Until then, keep moving forward.